In the heart of Taipei, between neon lights and modern life, stands a building that time forgot. Its story is one of the most chilling in all of Taiwan. The Qiziang Building was completed in 1962 as a symbol of progress. It housed government offices, but its pristine halls would soon witness unspeakable things. In the following decades, it became a place of execution, torture, and death during the White Terror period. After it was abandoned, the stories began. Security guards reported hearing footsteps in empty halls. People reported seeing figures in the windows. Then, in 2001, the first documented death. A homeless man was found in the elevator shaft. His face was frozen in terror. But the event that cemented the building's cursed reputation happened on a rainy night in 2009. A group of urban explorers entered the Qiziang Building. They were never seen again. Their cameras were found weeks later. A last photo was this. The image was corrupted, as if something had interfered with the camera. But one thing was clear. The police investigation hit a dead end. No signs of struggle. No bodies. The only clues were the cameras and the personal belongings left behind. Forensic experts analyzed the memory cards. They found a sequence of images. In each photo, a dark figure appears closer than in the last, as if it was following them through the halls. The final image showed the entity clearly, standing in a doorway, blocking their escape route. This was no longer a legend. But the 2009 case was not the first. The first documented death occurred in 1975. A night watchman was found dead in the elevator shaft. The official cause was accidental fall, but his diary told a different story. His final entries described a tall shadow that followed him through the building. He wrote about hearing whispers from empty rooms and the sound of dragging chains. The last entry simply said, "It is in the elevator with me." In the 1990s, a wave of suicides hit the building. Over 3 years, 7 people jumped from its roof. All were former employees. All left notes with the same phrase. The notes didn't speak of depression or personal problems. They spoke of being trapped, of a presence that wouldn't let them go. The phrase, "I cannot leave," was found in every single one. Despite the danger, urban explorers still break into the Qiziang Building. Most come out terrified. Some capture strange evidence. In 2018, investigators recorded what sounds like a voice whispering "Get out" in Mandarin. This electronic voice phenomenon was captured in an empty room on the 4th floor, the same floor where the night watchman died. Thermal cameras have picked up cold spots in human form. These anomalies appear and vanish in seconds, often moving toward living people. In 2015, The building's owners hired Taoist priests to perform a cleansing ritual. They hoped to drive out the negative energy that had taken root. The ritual failed. The priests reported an overwhelming feeling of hostility. One claimed his protective talisman was torn by an unseen force moments after they left. Paranormal activity didn't decrease after the cleansing. It intensified. Electronic devices failed more frequently. The entity seemed angered. Some parapsychologists suggest this isn't a ghost, but a residual haunt. A psychic recording of the immense suffering that occurred here, endlessly replaying. Skeptics point to geology. The building sits on a major fault line. Some claim underground radiation can cause hallucinations and paranoia, explaining the reports. Another theory is mass psychogenesis, the power of belief, fueled by the building's dark history, makes people see and feel what they expect to find. In 2020, a developer announced plans to demolish the building and construct a modern business center. The project was abandoned within months. Work crews reported constant equipment failures. Excavators break down, fuel lines were severed, and one operator claimed something shattered his windshield from the inside of his locked cabin. The project was officially canceled. The report cited unforeseen structural complications, but everyone knew the real reason. The memory card from the group's camera revealed a terrifying sequence. The first photos show typical urban exploration shots, dark corridors and empty rooms. But in the third photo, a shadow appears at the end of the hall. In the next, it's halfway down the corridor. Then, it's just a few meters away. The file photo is a blur, taken from a falling camera. But one thing is clear. The entity is right there, its elongated arms reaching for the lens. This sequence suggests the group was being hunted, methodically and patiently, throughout the night. They weren't lost. They were prey. In 2018, a man named Li Wei entered the building with 2 friends. Only he came out. In his official statement, he described a constant feeling of being watched. The air was thick. It was hard to breathe, he said. They heard footsteps following them, but the corridors were empty. On the 4th floor, a door slammed shut with incredible force, trapping his friends. He heard their screams as he ran, but when he looked back, the hallway was silent and the door was gone, replaced by a solid wall. The police found no evidence of his friends ever entering the building. Their phones were later discovered, completely dead, in the exact spot where Li claimed the door had been. Over the decades, specific entities have been identified within the Qiziang's curse. The most documented is the weeping child, heard sobbing near the elevators. Visitors report finding small wet handprints on the mirrors afterwards. The other was the faceless official, a tall, gaunt figure in a period suit, seen patrolling the upper floors. He is said to be the ghost of a cruel administrator from the building's darkest era. Those who have seen him report an overwhelming sense of despair. and a complete loss of personal memories for several hours after the encounter. It's as if he feeds on the very identity of the living. A 2022 university study attempted to debunk the phenomenon. They installed sealed, remote-controlled sensors throughout the building. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. Then, on the final night, all sensors triggered at once. EMF levels surged off the charts. Temperature dropped 20 degrees Celsius in seconds, and microphones captured what sounded like a scream composed of multiple voices, both male and female, fused into one. The lead scientist, Dr. Chen, initially a skeptic, concluded, "The data shows an anomalous energy presence that interacts with its environment. It's intelligent, and it's aware of being observed." The equipment was found permanently damaged. The most terrifying pattern emerged when historians cross-referenced the building's dark past with modern incidents. They discovered a bloody temporal knot. The security guard who died in 1975 was found on the exact anniversary of a mass execution in 1968. The group that vanished in 2009 entered the building on the same day a prominent dissident was tortured to death in 1971. Even the suicidal executive in 2015 jumped from the roof on the date a former warden committed suicide in 1982. It's as if the building doesn't perceive time linearly. For the entity within, past and present are one. It reenacts its trauma using new victims, stitching their fates to long-dead souls in a perpetual cycle of suffering. This isn't random violence. It's a ritual written across decades. The Qiziang curse isn't an isolated case, but it stands apart in its intelligence. Compare it to Japan's Aokigahara Forest, a place of passive sorrow that amplifies existing despair, or Taiwan's own Qiziang Building, where phenomena are chaotic and random. Qiziang is different. Its manifestations are systematic, its patterns mathematical. It doesn't just feed on emotion, it learns, it evolves. Where other locations are traps, Qiziang is a predator. It studies its victims, exploits their fears, and integrates their stories into its own expanding narrative. This isn't a ghost. It's an ecosystem of trauma that has developed a cruel form of consciousness. While other haunted places echo the past, Qiziang actively writes the future, using human lives as its ink. After decades of investigations, exorcisms, and attempted demolitions, the Qiziang Building remains. It has outlived its architects, its victims, and its would-be destroyers. Modern science cannot explain it, traditional rituals cannot cleanse it, and physical force cannot break it. It exists as a perfect paradox, a wound in reality that refuses to heal. The entity within is no longer just a collection of ghosts. It has become the building itself, a self-sustaining system of anguish. It doesn't need new victims to survive, only to express its nature. To enter Qiziang is to become a character in a story that was written before you were born, in a language of suffering you cannot comprehend. The true horror isn't that it kills, but that it preserves, trapping moments of agony in an endless, repeating present. Some places are not meant to be understood, only avoided. Qiziang is a reminder that our world contains patterns older than morality, forces that do not care if we live or die, only that we participate in their design.